Take a step back to a time when album covers mattered and music stayed with you for life. These rare photos and hidden stories take us on a journey through the moments that shaped rock and roll's golden age. Keith Moon. That face tells you everything. The wildest drummer who ever lived, on stage and off. Hotels feared him. Bandmates loved him. Nobody could keep up, and nobody could replace him. One of a kind. The real deal. The Clash, live in Boston, 1979. This was their first American conquest, a tour that became legendary for its raw power. They were soaking up American music on the road, an education that would directly inspire their masterpiece, London Calling. That grin. My Ding-a-Ling just hit #1. A novelty song, sure, but it put the guy who invented rock guitar back on top of the charts. After everything, the jail time, the tax problems, the years of being ripped off, he's still here, still getting paid. Chuck always knew what he was worth. The world just took a while to catch up. The Stones at the Garden, 1981. Tattoo You Tour, biggest in the world. This wasn't the 70s anymore. No more wildness, no more winging it. This was rock and roll as a machine, professional, massive, and still the best show in town. The Poet of Punk, Patti Smith, in 1973. This was before the band, before the albums. She was a downtown poet, just beginning to merge her words with rock and roll. The quiet, intense beginning of a true revolution. Slash, backstage at the Ritz, 1987. This televised MTV concert was the moment that launched Guns N' Roses into the stratosphere. This photo is the definition of an iconic image, capturing the calm before the storm of superstardom. Two kings of Detroit rock, Bob Seger and Ted Nugent, in 1976. Both were at the absolute peak of their powers. A meeting of two very different sides of the Michigan rock and roll coin, both undisputed champions of the arena. The Who, circa 1965. The undisputed kings of the mods. Their look was as important as their sound, and this iconic photo captures their tough, arrogant style. The ultimate faces of the swinging London scene. The Bay City Rollers in 1975, at the absolute peak of roller mania. While they were teen idols, their catchy, guitar-driven pop was a major influence on the first wave of punk bands who were just around the corner. The legendary Television, 1977, the year of their masterpiece, Marquee Moon. Their complex, dueling guitar sound was born on the stage of CBGB, but it was a world away from punk rock. One of the most influential bands of all time. 17 Seconds lineup, right here. They'd started as post-punk, sharp and angular, but something was shifting, darker, moodier, more atmosphere than edge. This is where The Cure became The Cure. The fog was rolling in. Jeff Beck, 1968. Truth just came out. Him and Rod Stewart, before Rod went solo. Some people call it the first heavy metal album. Whether that's true or not, listen to it. The blueprint for everything heavy starts right here. Philadelphia, summer of '77. Skinnered at full power. 3 guitars roaring, crowd on their feet. A few months from now, the plane goes down and it's all over. But they didn't know that. Nobody did. This is them at the peak, still flying. From Charlie Is My Darling, 1965. Mick and Keith on the road, cameras rolling, satisfaction everywhere. The Glimmer Twins, before anyone called them that. You can see it already. The bond, the chemistry. This partnership was just getting started. John and George in 1966, during the revolutionary paperback writer sessions. This was the bridge to Revolver, the moment they started using the studio as an instrument, leaving the world of pop music far, far behind them. One of the first photos ever taken of Led Zeppelin. The band's maybe a few weeks old. Look at them. They already know. That chemistry, that confidence. They hadn't conquered anything yet, but it was coming. Fast. While the men in Fleetwood Mac were at war, the bond between these two was the band's secret weapon. A sisterhood forged in fire that helped them survive the madness of rumors. CBGB, 1977. Everyone around them was playing fast and loud and angry. Talking Heads showed up looking like grad students, playing art funk that made you think. Total outliers, didn't fit in anywhere. And that's exactly why they mattered. Pink Floyd in 1974, in the giant shadow of the dark side of the moon. The album's massive success had made them superstars, but it also created immense pressure that was beginning to tear the band apart from within. Paul with the Hofner, 1964. Everyone talks about the songs, the harmonies, the haircuts, but listen to those bass lines. Melodic, moving, doing things bass wasn't supposed to do in pop music. That was Paul, quietly changing everything. Bron Uror, Wales, 1970. No electricity, no phones, just a cottage in the middle of nowhere. Page and Plant came here to get away from everything. What they wrote became Led Zeppelin 3, acoustic, folky, nothing like what anyone expected. Fans were confused. The band didn't care. A happy Eric Clapton in the mid-70s. His #1 hit cover of I Shot the Sheriff wasn't just a great song, it was a game changer. It helped introduce Bob Marley and reggae music to a massive mainstream American audience. Joey and Debbie, 1977. 2 different sounds, same downtown world. The Ramones were fast, loud, 3 chords. Blondie was cooler, poppier, smarter about image. Both came out of CBGB. Both were about to take over. This photo, a whole scene in one frame. Bob Dylan and Tom Petty at the first Farm Aid in 1985. This collaboration worked so well that the Heartbreakers became Dylan's touring band for 2 years, completely re-energizing his live show and creating a legendary partnership. Jimmy Page, 1969. 2 Zeppelin albums in 1 year, American tours selling out, and this guy running the whole thing. Producer, guitarist, visionary. Look at that focus. He knew exactly what he was building. and he wasn't done yet. Backstage at Live Aid, 1985. Bowie and McCartney, two guys who'd spent 20 years changing what pop music could be. Different paths, same destination. One of those photos that reminds you everyone was there that day. Everyone. Cream, 1966. Before the first album, before anyone knew what a supergroup was, Clapton, Bruce, Baker. 3 egos, 3 virtuosos, 1 tiny band. They lasted 2 years, changed everything. This is them right at the start, still getting along. Sabbath, 1970. Look at them. Ozzy in that fringed robe, Tony with the cross, the whole band looking like they just crawled out of a crypt. 2 albums this year, the debut and Paranoid. Heavy metal didn't exist before them. Then it did. CSNY Reunion Tour, 1974. They called it the Doom Tour themselves. That tells you everything. 4 guys who harmonized like angels and fought like family. This photo caught a good moment. There weren't many. Free, 1970. All Right Now was everywhere that summer. Paul Rodgers on vocals, that voice, effortless and huge. Paul Kossoff on guitar, less is more, every note counting. They didn't last long, but this moment, perfect.